So you got 50 bucks for a mechanical keyboard and you're looking at these two guys. Which one should you choose? I'm Rio Gion and welcome to Rio Gion Keyboards. The front of these two keyboards pretty much identical except for the silver painted edges on the BlackWeb. They use the same keycaps, so the font is the same, but I would prefer the BlackWeb standard layout compared to the layout of the ProHT. Both keyboards support this floating key design scheme, which is awesome because it makes it easier to clean the keyboards. Both keyboards aren't really office friendly because of the clicky switch, and the 7-color lights are quite distracting. Nevertheless, if you want to stand out at work, then go right ahead. For the front, I would go with the BlackWeb just because it's easier to find keycaps replacement for. Also, the logo is smaller than the ProHT. Both keyboards uses clone switches but comes with different degrees of stiffness and sound. At the end of the day, it's a matter of preferences because objectively these switches are pretty similar in terms of reliability, which isn't saying much. Then again, you're not paying top dollar for these keyboards. The ProHT is rocking the content switch, which is a clone of the Kale switch, which is a clone of the Cherry MX Blue, and this is softer of the two. On the other hand, the BlackWeb goes with Ultimu switch, which is a clone of the MX Blue and is the stiffer of the two. If I have to choose, I would go with the ProHT because it's softer, but it doesn't mean that I'm right because you could be a heavy-handed typist and you would actually like the BlackWeb more. Both have Cherry MX stabilizers, which is nice because it's easier to take out the longer keycaps. I would much rather they use this stabilizer than the Co-Star. It's a tie for this section because both basically have the same thing. What else can I say? Both have identical keycaps, so there aren't any winners here either. The BlackWeb automatically wins in this section because it actually has the wrist rest. This is the only reason why it wins. And on second thought, at least it would be easier if you get an aftermarket wrist rest if you were to go with the ProHT, because the bottom is flat. On the other hand, the BlackWeb, I feel like you must use that wrist rest, otherwise there's this freakishly odd angle if you were to use the keyboard with the wrist rest folded up. I think I would actually go with the ProHT because I at least have the option of getting a better wrist rest, but that's not really saying much. Both keyboards' flip-up feet does not have rubber on them, so the keyboard will slide during heavy usage. The BlackWeb does have several advantages in this section. The first is that you get a cable management slot, which is really handy when you have certain desktop setup. Then the cable is braided and the USB tip is gold, which means it has advantage. Or should I say, it seems like it has advantage, because I know that there's others out there that views this as a disadvantage. There's a pretty good number of us in the community that don't like braided cables and don't like gold-plated USB. So regardless of which, I'm giving the BlackWeb the win here because you do get more content for the same amount of money. I like the typing experience on the ProHT more because the switches are softer and the transition is much smoother than the BlackWeb. Still, I wouldn't go as far as to say I'm coming up with excuses to type on it, but when I do get the chance to type, I do enjoy my time with it. On the other hand, the BlackWeb is quite the opposite. I would actually find ways to avoid typing on it because the switches are stiffer than my liking and it feels like I'm stumbling through the transitions from key to key. I am a light-handed typist, so I would generally prefer keyboards that have softer switches. If you are a more heavy-handed typist, then I would say the BlackWeb should be right up your alley. For this section, I'm giving the win to the ProHT, but truly, it is just a matter of preferences. Decisions. For $50, it's quite hard to find a mechanical keyboard that's also RGB unless you head into the used keyboard market. But you can get a pretty decent membrane keyboard that's also RGB. So the question is, do you value RGB, or would you rather have the feel and sound of a mechanical keyboard? Between the two, I'm going with the ProHT because I like the typing feel a lot more. Both keyboards aren't gaming keyboards because they don't have macro ability or any other really sort of gaming features, and they're both blue switches. So it really boils down to which one is better at typing, and to me, I picked the ProHT over the BlackWeb any day of the week. So do you agree? Let me know in the comments down below. And if you made it this far and you haven't subscribed yet, then you gotta hit that subscribe button, ring that bell, become part of the mighty notification squad. As always, have an awesome day.